right, my loves. All right, my loves. So we have a special situation. Let's see how this works because I am live on Facebook and YouTube right now, which there's technique out there that does that for you. So I had that, I could go live on Zoom and then just stream on all the platforms. What I've done here, just to give you a little background information, is sitting in my sister's old room because I'm at my parents' house right now because I just transitioned back from Bali back to Germany. I've landed at my parents' house. Very grateful that this is possible. And I'm at my parents' house in my sister's room. And in front of me is my laptop, and then on top of my laptop, I have positioned my phone. And now I don't have a device to take a picture of this elaborate situation, but that's why I described it for you. So here we are. Um, Day 7 of the God Wants to Talk to You challenge. Um, and yeah, I realized because of this challenge, that's why I'm live on both platforms right now. Because of this challenge, which includes writing my daily God letter and having my hourly thank you timer go off. Um, it includes going live on YouTube every day, which led to me not being live on Facebook so much anymore, which is why I just thought let's just do it both. And then it's on both, which the YouTube videos tend to be a little longer. So this might be a little longer Facebook Live, but I've also had 20-minute Facebook Live. So we'll see. We'll see. Um, so what I'm doing is to, for 30 days, have a God Wants to Talk to You challenge. And every morning, or if it's not morning, sometime in the day, I write and I ask, Dear God, what would you have me know? And then something comes back. And you probably heard messages like letters from love, like this whole channeling stuff, and then waiting for something to come through. And these 30 days, though, are, sorry, are dedicated to really asking God. Because now with practice, I I feel there's a different frequency to messages that come through from God or from universal love. There's a slight difference, or even when guides are coming through. And um, now I'm really addressing God, and it feels like the God frequency rather than the love frequency, which I also often channel. And so for 30 days, I do this writing, which I've also done 365 days and like 1,000 days because I started like 3 years ago and almost went daily, especially at the beginning, to kind of like um, establish the channel and really help my system to open to the channel, to open to those like higher realm messages. And at first, it really needed like a devoted, like almost rigid practice. And now it's there when I tap in. Like I can close my eyes and take a deep breath and ask a question, and then an answer comes. So, but with every skill, with every energy channel, with every muscle, with every like physical skill, even language. Initially, there has to be this um, focused effort, which is us training the system. But what it's also, which I know now, is that we signal into the universe this is an energy, this is a skill that I would like to build. And then it's us kind of like falling into the stream of the universe that gives us that skill, because nothing is really fully generated purely from within. It's all available around us, and we're just tuning into whatever we tune into. If we want to tune into gossip and complaining, then with time, like, those frequencies are just going to catch us and then have us. And then it's going to be an effort to let go of that and come into another stream of the universe. And with any skill, and anything, it's a consistent, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. And then the universe guides us into that stream of information, of, also not only information, but I mean, on a basic level, it is all information, but there's also like an emotional component to it. It's like, okay, so now you feel at home here. And because I just mentioned this example of gossiping, if I do this often and always, then I feel at home in gossiping. And if I practice like loving speech, then I feel at home there. And if I practice talking to God and opening my channel to divine messages, then I feel at home there. But it needs the practice, it needs the locking in with the universe. And that is us committing to a frequency and then choosing it daily, 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 daily. And then staying on the frequency will get easier and easier, because then we're we're locked in with the frequency in the universe, and it's easier to stay there. Any habit, the bad habits, the good habits, it's easier because the universe actually pulls us. Okay. Um, okay, so a thing that came through, mm, when did it come through for the first time? I believe it came through a couple weeks, perhaps 2 months ago, for the first time. And that was that, oh no, actually, ooh, it came through. When was that? It's like 2 years ago. This information, this bit of information found me for the first time. And just to paint you a picture, I had an apartment in Berlin. Was a Sunday. I did not have anything on my schedule, and I was like, "What could I do? What could I do?" And I still had. Was this like allowed to say on a on an official platform? I'm trying to think. Okay, so let me speak in metaphors so that I don't get in legal, uh, like, problems. That I don't get legal problems. But so I ate chocolate. And this chocolate had a magical component to it. I had purchased this chocolate in a foreign country, which you don't have to be in a foreign country to purchase magical chocolate. But this chocolate had magical components to it. Um, and just cacao can open your heart. And so that's magical in itself. So we can just leave it at that. But this was a very, very magical chocolate. So I ate this chocolate, and I just shut all the curtains in my bedroom and laid down on the floor to just receive the magic of the chocolate. um, I don't think I don't think it's problematic, but I'll just double check before I name these things. Ah. Okay. And when I was laying there, what I received was the information, the piece of information that When we breathe, we can code our breath. And we code our breath regardless. We don't have to, there's nothing we have to do. We code it by the energy state with the thoughts, with our inner state. We code the air that is coming into our body. And every particle of air we breathe, it's going into our lungs and it's becoming, because it's alchemized in our body, it's becoming our cells. So, depending on the inner state that we're in, when we take a breath, that over time becomes us, becomes our physical body. So that means we do this like unconsciously all the time because we're always in a inner state. And then as we breathe, that inner state becomes our body. Our thoughts become our experience, our physical body. And we can, though, do this consciously. So if we become hyper present and extremely calm, which if you are super present, you have to be calm, cannot be all over the place. You cannot sit in your sister's old room and look at two screens and reach a state of ultimate presence to code your breath. This is not possible right now. You have to be like in a meditative, ultra present, almost trance state, fully present with yourself. And then the breath gets really slow. And you breathe in super slow. And then you can code your breath. So that was the that's that was the first piece of that whole like puzzle that came. And that taught me that a breath has an impact on the whole, the quality of a breath, the inner state that I'm in while I have a breath. But even a breath has an impact on the whole. So, what came through in the letter this morning was about the unseen ripple effect of our work. And the way I see life, not life meaning like, oh, what I think about life, but it's like the way I look at reality, the way I see reality is the information that's moving as let's say sacred, like everything is built on sacred geometry, everything is, it's the language, like the way it's tied together, it's knit together, is sacred geometry. And it's like the matrix codes, the green codes inside in the matrix movies. Everything is information. And so what I see is like sacred geometry having certain shapes and forms, and every word that I say, every uh like, what's it called? Like when wind comes, like because I'm looking outside, I look out and I see the trees, and they are sacred geometry. And then when wind comes, the sacred geometry of the wind shifts and changes the sacred geometry of the tree because it's moving in that moment. And there's information that's being exchanged between the wind and the trees. And so every word that I say has an effect on the whole. It's I say the word, and the frequency of the word is going into the field, touching everything at once, because in the quantum field there's no time and space. It's influencing everything in that moment. And it's not just the word, but it's also the quality in which I say the word, the frequency behind the word. So it's not just like choose good words. The more important piece is with what intention are you saying the word? What inner state are you in when you say the word? Um, and that is how powerful we are. That is how much effect we have. Even a breath, even a word said in this room. Yes, I'm live on 2 platforms right now, so potentially this actually reaches a lot of people. But even when I sit in the morning and I write, the writing itself, the sitting down, the intention of it, the reading it back to me, no one hears it. All of this has an effect on the whole field. And that is something very important for us to know. It is important in so many ways because it's like, so what are you doing when no one's watching? How do you go about your day when no one is watching? And how committed can you stay to your mission, even in times when nobody's watching yet? You have an influence on the field, you have an influence on the whole already, even though not many people are watching it. It's not important. And about that, God spoke this morning. And so that is what I'll read to you now, the letter. Dear God, what would you have me know today? My sweetest, the ripple effect of your work is unfathomable for you and for any human being. Trust me when I tell you, you are recoding the whole fabric of existence with every word of love, every breath of love, every touch of love. To trust means to also trust the unseen, to even trust what you will never be able to see. That is before you return. I speak to the part of you that has not forgotten what it means to see the world with my eyes. This part of you is actually the biggest part of all. My love, you are distracted, and that is okay. It is still me speaking, and it is still you listening. Everything is perfect. It is never only about what transpires. It is about it is about you choosing to sit down and listen, especially in moments of distraction. Ask me anything, my love. Give me anything. I am here to serve you as much as you are here to serve me. All my love, God. So, with every breath, with every word, we are changing the field. With every day where we show up devoted to our mission, regardless on how much we think is already landing with people, all of it has an effect on the field, on the whole. And I am realizing more and more that trust in times of no evidence yet, in times of damn, it really looks like nothing's really working yet. That is when we choose trust in those times, the potency of this trust is the greatest before the evidence. The signal of this trust in the universe It's amazing. And it'll come back to us tenfold. So trust. The ripple effect of your work is unfathomable for you or for any human being. Trust me when I tell you, you are recoding the whole fabric of existence with every word of love, every breath of love, every touch of love. To trust means to also trust the unseen. All right, my loves. Let's see if this worked. Double check after I'm done. It's in YouTube. Bye bye, YouTube.